So here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Ipswich Town have made their fourth signing this window in January. It's Harry Clarke on a permanent deal from Arsenal. I'm joined by good old Stuart Watson to discuss this in depth. Stu, what a transfer window so far. Harry Clarke, the new addition. Your thoughts?
Yes, we wondered where these extra signings or signing would come in this squad after Hurst and Broadhead up front, Luongo in midfield. Did any other area of the squad needed some reinforcements? McKenna had alluded to some attributes and areas that he wanted to look at. Well, we still don't know the full answer to that because it's going to be interesting to see where Harry Clarke fits in. He's a versatile player. We'll come on to that in a minute, but he's a defender. And Ipswich have signed him. He's another one that comes from a Premier League club. He's another one that's spent the first half of this season in the Championship. And he's another one that's got more than an eye on the, not just the short term, but the medium and the long term future of this football club as well.
Yeah, indeed. 21 years of age. He's an Ipswich boy, born in Ipswich, came through the youth academy, left the club at the age of 14 to join Arsenal. Compensation fee, of course, involved. We've seen a few players like that leave, like Charlie Brown and the likes like that. But as you mentioned, Stu, he's played in the Championship this year at Stoke City, 20 appearances in total, 2 goals. With what you read about him, maybe seen some highlights, what's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's been a regular for Stoke in recent weeks. He went to Stoke on loan at the start of the season, scored a couple of early goals early in the season against Blackpool and Burnley, but was mainly coming off the bench. But has been a regular starter of late. He started 8 of their last 12 games in all competitions, Stoke, who are at the wrong end of the Championship table. But reading what Stoke fans have to say about him is that there's a few technical flaws there, but you'll get heart, you'll get desire. He's strong, he's athletic, and he's a great character as well. If you look back at what all the various managers have said about him during loan spells, first on the training pitch, last off, wants to learn, wants to improve. So that's a major box in the Kieran McKenna box ticked in terms of character and someone who wants to self-develop. And also, we know that McKenna loves athleticism in his players as well. And I think we're going to get that in Harry Clarke. We'll hopefully add a bit of physicality to the Ipswich team, maybe prevent them conceding some of these goals, high balls to the back post, points letting slip towards the end of the games. But yeah, as much as this is a short-term addition, I think this is with very much an eye on the future as well.
Yeah, 21 years of age, and he's got a lot of experience now playing in the Championship, played in the Scottish Premiership, of course, for Ross County and Hibernian, and a spell at Oldham as well. And Arsenal, I think, got a new long-term deal back in 2019, but a player that I'm sure is now looking for the future himself, wanting to move on after a few loan spells and maybe find a new home. And he's an Ipswich boy, Stu, and we've seen that already, like last year with Macaulay Bonne coming to the club and bringing that extra 10% to a player. And I think that's going to be another big thing for Town fans. I think they're going to like that. Another Ipswich boy signing for the club.
Yeah, hopefully. I think he started out at Brantham Athletic. I need to double check that, but it's just reported that that's where he was kind of scouted from when he came to Ipswich. And I think he was kind of first came to prominence when he was the star of a viral YouTube video, which was of the under-14s Ipswich team scoring a 13-pass Barcelona-esque goal that's had 1.6 million views on YouTube at the latest count. That was in 2014, and then a year later he goes to Arsenal for a compensation fee, which is widely reported around £100,000. That was in that sort of era, if you remember, that Ipswich were losing quite a few of their young stars before they'd even got towards sort of senior status. People like Ben Knight going to Manchester City, Charlie Brown went to Arsenal. There was a few of them, and I think Marcus Evans, the owner at the time, was starting to waver a little bit in terms of what's the point in pumping all this money into the academy if you're losing them for a relative pittance to the Premier League big boys. But all roads have ended up leading back to Ipswich, of course. He's gone to Arsenal. He's won an under-18s title with them. He's become a regular in their under-23s. He starts training with the first team squad in pre-season. Gets that new long-term deal in 2019 that you mentioned, and then he's had those loan spells that you've already reeled off. So I think this is a really good signing for Ipswich. Looking at it, his age, his profile, they've clearly put a lot of thought into how he fits into the jigsaw. Long term, a very good signing. Short term, I'm fascinated to see where he fits in over this second half of the season.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, definitely a profile that Kieran McKenna and the dashboard. I'm sure he's very much high on that list because of all the attributes and his age and position, and he's versatile. It sounds like. Stu, to end off the video really is to sort of talk about the defensive options in general that McKenna's got at his mercy now, because he's got some good strength and depth. But where does it leave it all?
Well, the first thing is to say is that he won't count towards that 22 senior squad limit, because he was, even though he's 21 now, he was under 21 at the start of last year. So you don't have to do any rejigging of the squad to sort of fit him in there. But he is another body in an already power-packed squad, even discounting the likes of Ball, Kamara, John Jules, who are all long-term injuries. I make it 25 fit first-team players now that McKenna's got to pick from. That means 7 players getting left out of a matchday squad. So some man management challenges coming up for Kieran McKenna. Where does Harry Clarke fit in this? He was we always referred to him as a midfielder when he was a youth team player at Ipswich. I'm led to believe that he even played as a striker earlier in his youth team career, and he's gradually worked his way back. Arsenal converted him to this sort of ball playing centre half, and at Stoke he's played very much down the right hand side this season, a sort of a combination of right back and right wing back. So you wonder where he fits in. You look at the Ipswich Town squad at the moment. My gut feeling is that he'll be brought in to vie for that right back / right-sided centre half hybrid role that Janoy Donatian has done so well in over the last year or so. Been a virtual regular starter under Kieran McKenna, but has just shown a few signs, understandably, maybe of tiring of late. Maybe it's just a bit of competition for Janoy. On that right side of the sort of back 3/4, that would be my guess.
Okay, then we shall wait and see. Well, Stu, what a window it's been so far for Town. It's probably the best in recent memory. Because January transfer window is always a weird window to do business in, but Town are not mucking about, are they? And overall thoughts on the window so far, and any other business you reckon they'll do?
Any other business? Well, first of all, Mark Ashton has delivered on his promise to leave no stone unturned and not look back at the end of this season with any regrets. They've certainly delivered on that promise with the players that have come in. I would imagine, and I need to firm this up, this will be another 7-figure fee. Nathan Broadhead was $1.5 million. Leif Davis was about 1.2 back in the summer. These are deals that are going to make the rest of League One sit up and take notice. What it does do is really heap some extra pressure and expectation on the team in these final 6 months or so of the season to go and get that automatic promotion spot. But yeah, is there more to come? I can't for the life of me, Ross, see where else you could add to this squad at the moment. I would worry that you're in danger of creating too many problems rather than solutions if you keep adding to it. Now, I would imagine it's more a case of moving 1 or 2 on and trimming some numbers. The arrival of someone who can play that right back role raises some question marks over the future of someone like Kane Vincent-Young, who's out of contract in the summer. You've got Matt Penny's just come back from a loan at Motherwell. Ghassan Hadmi's well down the pecking order up front. I would imagine that there needs to be a little bit of trimming rather than adding before this window shuts. So I think Ipswich incoming business might be done. Famous last words, but you can never say never with this version of Ipswich Town in the game changer era.
Indeed. We shall wait and see then, ladies and gentlemen. But there we go. The 4th signing of this January transfer window. Harry Clarke on a permanent deal from Arsenal. Stu, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for watching. And bye for now.